Now, it's time for us to have a conversation on the health segment. Now, today's conversation is going to be very exciting for all men, because as for men, when it comes to the issue of the bedroom and, well, we're going to get into that in just a little bit. Dr. Kabelusu is right here with us. I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about in just a jiffy. But just a quick reminder for you that my GH Pay is back with a bang. And my GH Pay, the app has been reconstituted and built nicely to make things a lot easier for us with push notifications, in-app reporting, GHQR code application, and so on and so forth. Security features like Face ID and fingerprint login, etc., etc. All these have been included in the app. Just go to my Play Store or Google Store. Play Store, Google Store, and Play Store or App Store, and download the app from there. And just fill in a few details, and you're good to go. My GH Pay. Buy, sell, connect. Now, Dr. Kelvin, good morning.
Good morning, David.
This topic, okay, so first of all, I don't know if you can help us to understand, because I think it's maybe a psychologist rather would be able to answer the question I'm about to ask you. Why is it that men, myself included, now I don't know about you, but you can answer for yourself, the whole idea that we can last long is like an obsession for men? Why? Okay, if you can't answer it, don't bother, don't worry yourself, but I'm still curious.
No, but see, the question, the thing about sex, like you said, I mean, it's quite complicated, quite confusing.
Yeah.
Men want to last long, but have we actually asked our partners
whether
they want you to last long?
Oh, okay.
You see, so that's always a problem, you know, because the men want to last long, but if you actually speak to most women, they don't want you to last long, because the longer you last, the more uncomfortable it gets for them. And so because then there's going to be bruising, there's going to be small cuts here and there, so they actually don't want you to last long. You know, so it's important exactly. You see, because and this is because most men have actually reduced the sex act to the penetration, and to the woman, sex actually begins. Yes, it involves much more than penetration. So if you reduce the whole sex act to just the penetration, then you want to last long, and then you are causing the woman a lot of pain and discomfort.
I actually read a book years ago. I think it's still in print. It's called "Sex Begins in the Kitchen."
True.
And you know, a lot of guys, when you read that title, you're thinking that, you know, on top of the cupboards or whatever. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about the fact that early in the morning, whilst you're preparing breakfast, the way you talk to her, the way you set the mood, you set the tempo, everything is right. You know. So yeah, I mean, just to buttress your point.
And to even make it more complicated in quotes. The average man actually lasts less than 5 minutes. In fact, the average man lasts about 2 to 3 minutes. Yes. So the question is, why are we so interested in trying to prolong something that we can actually do in 2 to 3 minutes? Why not actually maximize that 2 to 3 minutes so that then our partner can have the best 2 to 3 minutes of their life? In which case they would want more. You know, because then they've seen your show, and so then the part 2 is going to be better. You know, but you end up spending 10, 15, some people want to go 20 minutes, and the partner is frustrated and will not be in the mood for a second round, and then, you know, it now becomes a fight. You see, so it's simply because we have reduced sex to penetration, and penetration is actually the smallest bit of the whole show. You know, and in fact, if
some guys would, and this, I don't want us to derail too much of the topic, but some men would argue that the experience with their woman is that as soon as he has his orgasm, she's like, "Oh, have you finished?"
But
is that all?
That's because you wasted time. You missed the most important aspect of sex, which is actually foreplay. Okay. Foreplay is more important to the woman than penetration. Okay. And in fact, if you're able to get your woman to climax or have an orgasm during foreplay, your 2 minutes is actually out of this world for that woman. Exactly, the 2 minutes now for you to actually now do your thing, you know, because you've actually done her part for her. And that's actually where we need to focus a lot of our attention at, because if you do your foreplay well, then there's enough lubrication in there. So assuming you actually want to go 20 minutes, because you've done adequate foreplay, you can actually go that 20 minutes, and then there's not going to be that friction burn and all of those things, because friction burn is is one of the most painful burns you can have. You can compare it to having a water scald. You see, it's not too deep. The burn is not too deep. It's just on the surface, but that is very, very painful, because that's where all the nerve endings are. And so it's more painful to actually get a superficial burn than to get a deep burn, because when you get a deep burn, the nerve endings have all been burned, so there's no sensation. So friction burn can be compared to a scald, like a hot water scald. So it's really, really painful, which is why next time when you're trying to approach the woman, she'll push you away, because no, I'm not about to deal with that pain, because I have to wake up in the morning and go to work and do other things. So if you actually invested time, and this is an investment, if you invest time in the foreplay, if you begin the whole foreplay from the morning, you are setting the mood, you are being all helpful, you are giving extra cash here, some gift of chocolate there, some flowers to the office, the mood is set. So by the time the woman comes home, or where you meet,
she's
wherever,
ready for you.
She's ready, so that because the foreplay has been going on all through the day, because there's a lot of psychological or psychology at play when it comes to preparing for sex, and it works on both sides, the male and the female, but it's just that we have reduced it to the penetration, and that's why we want to last long. But if you how many men are actually able to bring their partners to climax with penetration? Not that many. I mean, I know a lot of us want to massage our egos and all, but honestly, not many men can bring their partners to climax by penetration. So let's stop focusing on penetration alone.
Okay, so talking about now, let's just say that we want to pander to the ego of men, and that men want to last long. Now, there are all kinds of dangerous things that men are taking, to try and help them to last long. Show us, in case you are one of those men who wants to last long, what are the healthy ways?
I'm sure people are expecting some straightforward, do this, do that, but
but isn't that always the case?
Yeah, but
we want, show me 1, 2, 3, and I'll go and do them, and then that's it.
I know, right? But I'm going to disappoint you somewhat. So the first thing you have to understand is that your sexual health is a function of your total body health. So for you to have good sexual performance, good sexual functioning, you must be healthy. You must be healthy. In other words, you must be active. You must be exercising. You must have an active lifestyle, because the more active you are, the more muscles are developed, the easier it is for your blood to flow. And erection is maintained by blood and blood vessels. So if you have problems with blood flow, it's going to affect you, which is why people who have health challenges like hypertension, diabetes, they tend to also struggle with exactly, especially if these conditions are not well controlled, well managed. Unfortunately, and this is a bit difficult, but then unfortunately sometimes in the management of especially hypertension, some of the medications can also affect sexual performance. It's a side effect of some of the medication. And so when you notice something like that, you have to report to your doctor, because not every person has those particular side effects. So you report to your doctor or whoever, and then they can switch you to something else. So it's not a good enough reason to not take your medication because you're having sexual problems. Report and have it changed. Now, diabetes specifically, the disease itself can cause you to have sexual dysfunction. Now, I use sexual dysfunction as the broad term because there are about 3 different forms of sexual dysfunction. You have erectile problems, you have impotence, you can have premature ejaculation. So all of these form part of sexual dysfunction. And so the disease called diabetes can actually cause sexual dysfunction. And so it's important that if you are diabetic, you get routine checks and make sure that your diabetes is under control so that you can then enjoy your sexual, habits, whatever you wanted to do. So staying healthy is very, very important. And related to staying healthy is and this is specific, you have to stop smoking.
Wow.
Yes, if you want to actually enjoy your sexual function, if you want to enhance the sexual function, if you happen to be a smoker, you need to stop smoking. Because yes, there's smoking or some of the components, some of the chemicals inside the smoke causes your vessels to constrict, to close up. Now, I've already mentioned that erection is basically blood and blood vessel in interplay. So now, if your blood vessels are constricted, it means that the blood is not even flowing into the penis to sustain the erection. And so that's why you need to stop smoking as much as possible. If it's not affecting your sexual performance, then I guess you can say you are fine. But if you are having sexual dysfunction and you are a smoker, one of the first advices is to quit smoking. Now, another interesting thing is about alcohol. Okay. Now, I've actually said this here before, and I got a lot of beating. But hey, it's a fact. Now, alcohol does not enhance sexual function. I'm repeating, alcohol does not enhance sexual function. Okay. Alcohol is a psychoactive drug in a sense. It causes it's a CNS depressor, central nervous system depressor. So alcohol actually will reduce your sexual function. But you see, because when you start taking alcohol, maybe at the first few shots, you begin to get tipsy. There's a brief period of disinhibition. Okay. So you actually feel on top of the world. That's what we call the fool's courage. You actually feel like you are Superman when you are just before you actually tip into drunkenness. There's a feeling of euphoria, and it is at that point that people think they actually perform well. But this has been research has been done where they actually gave men alcohol to drink, and then so you have sex before alcohol, and then you have sex after alcohol, not on the same day, but there's a way, and then they actually engage their partners to find out what the
performance was like,
and almost 90% of the partners said that on alcohol, the men didn't perform as good as they did previously. So it's a known fact. Okay. However, if both the man and the woman are both tipsy, then I guess you can say that because of the disinhibition, they will both feel on top of the world, so they are good to go. Okay. But generally, alcohol does not enhance sexual performance. So I've mentioned that you have to stay active. Yeah. You have to keep your chronic medical issues under control. Okay. You have to quit smoking. Don't use alcohol. Okay. Now. Another important aspect is stress. Okay. Stress.
Before you go down on the path of stress, let me just remind you that our WhatsApp line is 0550-585-832. If you have any questions for Doctor regarding sexual performance and longevity in the bedroom, kindly send the messages through and I'll ask him. Yes. Go on.
So stress. Stress is a mood killer. If there's any form of stress in your life, be it financial stress, be it home stress, be it whatever kind of stress, it kills the mood for both the man and the woman. So it's actually quite difficult. I mean, imagine that you are trying to engage in to have sex, and then you get a call from somebody that you owe. Obviously, at that point, it's going to take everything away.
Completely.
So if you really want to enjoy your sexual life, you must try as much as possible to get your stress and stresses under control. Okay. This is why it's good to take vacations, to take breaks, to sort of manage your time so that you're able to rest. You're able to take breaks, because if you are stressed, if you are tired, it's very difficult to perform. If you are sleeping and you try to have sex, or somebody tries to have sex with you in your sleep, if you actually observe and you notice that you don't actually perform well, because, and so you can relate that to the stress I'm talking about. It's a hormonal or a hormonal play, and when you are stressed, the hormones that are released are flight hormones. Okay. To try and get you out of there. Okay. So you have adrenaline, you have noradrenaline. These are hormones that are supposed to get you out of danger. Okay. So is it
affecting the blood flow?
Yes.
Because that's what I'm thinking now.
Because so imagine if a lion enters this room right now. Yeah. Immediately your brain will switch into escape mode. Yeah. So the channels, the blood vessels that will be open are blood vessels that feed muscles for escaping. So your leg muscles, your arms, so things to help you run. At that point, there's no blood going to your penis to go and sustain an erection. Okay. So that's just to give you an idea. So when you are stressed, the hormones that are at play are hormones to help you. Either you're going to fight or you're going to escape. Okay. So those hormones are not going to help you have an erection. Okay. So this is why you need to get your stress or your stresses under control, so that you can have the opposite hormones working, so that then when you want to engage in sex, there's enough blood being channeled to the penis to sustain an erection. Yeah. And this is also why the reason why I'm stressing on blood going to the penis is because it is based on this science that some of the aphrodisiacs have tried to leverage on, to try and make sure that the blood vessels in the penis are opened up so that the blood can actually go there and then stay there. Of course, there's some level of abuse as well, because if, for instance, you don't have an erectile dysfunction and you go and take a drug like Viagra, you could end up with complications. Okay. Yes, I mean, and I have actually seen a couple of patients who took Viagra and had sustained the erection for a long time. Okay. Now, remember that blood also carries oxygen. So whereas you are trying to sustain your erection, you also don't want the blood to stay there too long, because the blood is going to become stale. In other words, the oxygen is going to be finished. Okay. When the oxygen is finished, it means that the penile cells will not have enough oxygen to survive. So then they are going to die. Yes. Yeah. So one way of becoming impotent is that your penis has actually died because the blood stayed there too long.
Enough oxygen.
And I've actually seen at least 2 patients in my lifetime who suffered that complication as a result of taking Viagra.
Wow.
Yes, it happens. I mean, one person actually had an erection for 4 hours. You know.
So in that case, as a medical doctor, what's the solution?
Well, I would say that every drug has a target market, you know, and since I mentioned Viagra, let me stick to Viagra. Viagra is a drug that helps people to sustain an erection, and it's meant for people with erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
So, for instance, somebody who has hypertension or diabetes, who's having issues with sustaining an erection, a doctor can prescribe Viagra, and emphasis on prescribe because there's a dose to it, and tell you how to use it, you know, so that you can then have your time with your partner and enjoy your sex because I mean after all it's a human right, you know. Or should I say
a human privilege.
Exactly. And so you take it to counteract something that is going on in your system that is preventing you from sustaining an erection. So if you, a normal person, goes to take this same Viagra when you don't have an issue, do you see where the complication is? Yes, you will sustain and you will have a prolonged erection. That one is a given, so it will happen. Now the question is, will the erection come down fast enough for you to then have normal blood circulation, or will you end up with complication? That is where it becomes a bit of a challenge. So the advice is don't take a pill that's not meant for you. Very important. Now some of the I dare say some of the local aphrodisiacs on the market, they've actually added some of these medications to it. So they'll sell you some concoction, and inside the concoction there's some Viagra. You know. Yes, wow. it's actually happening. So you may not be aware. They may tell that it's herbs. There are some good herbs. There are some foods like banana is actually a very good food that you can take to improve your sexual function. Yes. Banana is very good. I mean, I'm sure you've heard about tiger nuts, and so there are food items out there that helps to enhance sexual function. You know, but then they will sell you this and tell that this concoction is made up of banana and tiger nut and whatever. But inside the mix, there's something there. Now you don't know, so you go and drink it, and then I have complications. Now you are impotent. What are you going to do about that? So it's important that you find out what is actually in that package that you are taking, or better still, why not focus on the other proven areas of sexual satisfaction? Because if you engage in adequate foreplay, your partner can actually have 1, 2, 3 climaxes before the actual penetration, so that then the penetration is bonus for both you and her. You know, and then that person would actually want to engage more, because the more exciting the sexual encounter is, the more likely it is that you're actually going to satisfy each other. You know, and having said that, sex, or how do I put it? The act of sex, you get better with practice. Unfortunately, you don't have a class where you go and rehearse how to have sex, and so you only have your first chance, which most people actually botch it. But then you learn as you go along. So it is known. Again, this is all research. When you speak to couples who have been in long-term relationships, they will tell you, they will confirm that as the days go, or as the years go by, the sex actually gets better because both partners learn about each other and know how to please each other. You know, so that if you know that this my partner likes her back being rubbed, you're not going to waste your time on the front, because you know that if I rub the back, she gets to climax quickly. So the experience of sex and orgasm gets better with age or with time. Having said that, there's a caveat. If you don't change inside small, if the sex,
how we change inside?
So if it becomes routine, if it becomes boring, then again the sexual performance reduces. So there's a place, if you want to improve the experience of sex for both partners, it is important that you try new things, you try new positions, you try things that are going to add spice to the relationship, so that it doesn't become routine. Because once it becomes routine, once it becomes automatic, then the body sort of switch into what's the term, autopilot, and then you don't enjoy it as much as you are supposed to. And once you don't enjoy the sex, then subsequent encounters are going to be shorter. It's going to get shorter and shorter. and then you begin to question yourself that, am I getting erectile dysfunction?
Yeah.
And once you begin to question yourself, stress levels begin to go up.
Yeah.
So you actually compound the situation.
Okay.
So it's a very difficult thing to deal with.
Okay. Now, I have my own question, but I'm not going to ask mine yet. If we have time at the end, I'll ask. But a lot of questions are coming through. But there's a comment here. This is Erection in Dansuma. Thank you, Erection, for sending this. It says, tuned in not long ago, but I love the discussion so far. I'm assuming Erection is a man, and men will like this discussion. So this one says here, good morning. Please, can piles affect how a man performs?
So straightforward answer, no.
Okay.
However, piles causes pain, and because the pile is related, like that area, we call it perineum. It includes the genital area and the anal area. Okay. It's in the same area. Yeah. So once there is pain somewhere, it's a bit difficult to express yourself well.
Okay.
And so that can affect your performance. Okay. But directly, there's no relationship.
Okay. Good morning, Doc. Please, is it normal to last for a minute or two during the first round? This is Peter in Accra.
Okay, so I'm not going to speak to the time, whether it's a minute or two, but it is also known that the first round usually lasts shorter than the subsequent round.
Okay.
But as to whether it's normal to last 1 or 2 minutes, you see, and it goes back to my opening statement. It depends on what you have done with your foreplay. Okay. Because if you've done good enough foreplay, even 30 seconds, it's good enough. So the question is, have you invested in foreplay? That's the most important thing.
Okay. Please, ask Doc, what can one do to have a stronger or harder erection?
Well, I think we've basically spoken about that, but just to repeat, exercise, rest, eat well, make sure your chronic medical conditions are under control, and you're good to go. So some of the foods I mentioned, bananas, tiger nuts, there's watermelon actually.
Yeah, watermelon is a good one.
I almost forgot that one.
So a lot of you guys out there, you want quick solutions. There's nothing, you see, there's nothing. Am I safe in saying that, or am I right in saying that quick solutions are usually not the safest solutions?
Perfect.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Perfect.
I could actually have been a doctor, you see. Good morning, please. I'm Anthony Azuma from Ho. Thanks to Dr. Kelvin for this wonderful topic. This one says here, I'm making a lot of notes to change things in my life and others. Well, you should. Thank you. This one says, a question. Does eating sugary foods affect your sexual strength?
Again, straightforward answer, no.
Okay.
But you see,
because I know somebody who loves sugary foods. It has 4 strong boys.
So sugar is processed.
Yeah.
It's processed food, which means that it's easier for the sugar to be absorbed into your body system.
Okay.
And then some of the side effects of that would be weight gain. So then you become obese. Now, obesity is related to diabetes, related to hypertension, related to dyslipidemias. And all these things can affect your sexual performance.
Okay.
So directly, no, but over time, yes, it will get there.
Impact you. Okay. All right, quickly, before we go. What the doctor is saying is true. For women, penetration is not what women want necessarily, but the affection and foreplay. I always tell men, why a woman will say no. Why would a woman say no if they're really enjoying sex? Okay, so good point there. All right, quick one before we go. Can masturbation cause premature ejaculation?
I was trying to avoid this topic, but since you brought it up, now masturbation is actually one of the ways of treating this or improving sexual performance. But it depends.
Okay, no. Okay, you say that again.
So I'm saying that, okay, so let me put it this way. Masturbation is a tool.
Okay.
Depending on how you use this tool, you can achieve 2 things. You can actually improve your sexual performance or worsen it.
Okay.
So it's a very, very, and of course, there's also the religious angle and all that. So I was really trying to avoid it, but hey, okay, it's come up. So, oftentimes, most people who engage in masturbation are hiding to do it.
Yeah.
So they are doing it quickly to get it over and done with.
Yeah.
So when you keep doing that,
you're tuning
you
yourself.
condition your mind. You condition your mind to the fact that stimulation of my penis must be done quickly.
Yeah.
You understand? So that even now, when you engage with actually a partner to get into the sex act, because your mind is tuned to the fact that once my penis is stimulated, we must end it there and then. So now, quickly, by the time there's
you can say Jack Robinson, you are done.
You are done. Okay. And that's a problem. However, when it comes to using this same tool to now solve the problem or improve your sexual performance, there's a way to go about it, which we cannot discuss here.
No.
So it has to be done in the
Morning
proper
TV has
context.
limitations.
Exactly.
Okay, so one here says, "Good morning."
But just
yes, go ahead.
It's the same. In the same way, if you keep engaging in quickies, and by quickies I'm talking about, you steal yourself in the bathroom quickly. Let's do this thing. It has almost the same effect
as masturbation. Okay. All right. So this one says, "I'm happy to be a fan of Breakfast Show. Please, I have a problem with erection. That is, after the first round, it takes a long time to be erect again. Is this a problem or is it normal?"
Well, again, I don't know how old you are, but
because age is a factor. Isn't it?
Age is a big factor. There's something called the recovery period. So when you've had your first ejaculation, it takes your body a while to recover to start the process again. Now, depending on how old, the younger you are, the faster that recovery period. As you grow older, that period
becomes longer.
I mean, in fact, most people don't even recover; they just fall asleep and wake up the next morning. So I don't know how old you are, so it's a bit difficult to give a specific answer.
Okay. So finally, let me ask my question. What about performance anxiety?
Yes. So it's all part of the stress. Now, but the thing about performance anxiety, and I think I actually alluded to when I said that you start thinking about why you are not performing so well, and because you are thinking about that, it causes your stress hormones to build up, and now you can't even perform at all because
so it's a negative feedback.
It's a negative feedback loop that needs to be broken. Unfortunately, many people are not able to break it by themselves. So there's help. And that's a good thing. There's help available. In fact, like you said, sex is a very, very important topic to a lot of people. Unfortunately, our culture makes it a bit secretive. But there's help available. If you are able to walk into a hospital or if you're able to engage with a health practitioner, you will get the help that you need. From the medical aspect to the psychological aspect, there's help available. So whatever you are going through, seek help.
So talking about seeking help, how do people reach you?
Well, I'm active on social media, Kelvin Owusu MD. So you can reach out to me and I'll see what I can do.
All right. Well, all your problems can be solved. Just reach out to Dr. Kelvin Owusu on his social media handles. And he's very active, as he said, and he will be in touch with you and help solve those challenges.
Hi there. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends.
This is Breakfast Daily on City TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on City TV.